Ingenious.
Oh, let's have a look at the racing of the winging. It looks like they're just about to start. If you could zoom in on the wings over there, I think they've just done a start actually. Or they're about to go. They're definitely all lined up. Can we see the flag sequence on the boat there? Yeah, there's the red flag. And they're pumping. Nice. And there goes the flag. It's down and they're away. That's race 1 for the winging on day 3.
Excellent. So who have we got on the aqua wing?
That would be Lockie White, I would say. He is winning all day yesterday.
He was a machine and just so clean. His board speed, he wasn't dropping anything, was he?
He had it together.
But also
sure.
he had a real advantage. I wasn't commentating yesterday, but I was watching, and you were saying that his equipment, his hydrofoil is super fast.
Yes, he's got a high aspect, fairly small wing, 790 square centimetres.
Well, look at that. Look at the lead he's just taken on the
amazing.
fleet. Dominating.
He's also on his CWC F1 7 metre by the looks. That's a compact wing design. It's unique wing with 3 struts. So it's got, most of them have 1 strut. Your centre strut with your handles that you're holding onto.
Okay.
There goes Jean de Falbert through the foreground, but
lovely. It's good to see all the kiters coming out now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the water, and the wingers are approaching that top mark.
Oh, looks like Lockie's fallen there.
Oh, that's
What's
a
happened?
very rare mistake from him.
Yeah, but he's back on and he's opened up an opportunity.
Oh, this is not something that you see often. He's still in front though. Wow, to be able to come off like that. And that's, we talk about this type of racing being high stakes. When you fall off and you fall off at speed, you can sacrifice, you can go from first to mid-fleet or first to last in a very short space of time. And when you've got conditions like this, you've got swell rolling in, it really is about, sort of that control. And I can't just tell you how difficult it is. It's hard to tack and jibe at the best of times, but when you have a swell of this size rolling through, it can make it exceptionally difficult. So these guys are making it look easy, but it's also a case of anything can happen. The lead can change in a blink of an eye. Yeah,
that's great, isn't it? You've got great shots there from the long lens here. The mid-fleet guys pumping to try to accelerate onto a wave and pick up a little bit of advantage on the wave. And it looks like that buoy in the foreground, I think that's the top mark of the wing foilers. Oh, sorry, of the kite foilers.
Cool. So on the SICK, so that black and white, that looks like Linton coming through.
Lincoln Jews and the SIC second wing. And I think that's probably Tana coming in second place.
Excellent.
What a great shot, and the safety boat in the background. So you're no stranger to sailing, Lisa. You've gone 5th in the world in... Again,
a very long time ago now.
That was Kite Foil Racing, but you've also won a Sydney to Hobart offshore racing as well, haven't you?
So,
yes.
Oh, that was also a long time ago. My brother was a very an amazing mentor, sailor, someone who he's done so many Hobarts, and I was lucky enough just to do one with him and watch him win on handicap. So
fantastic.
That was one of the more memorable moments.
Yes, well, once you win a Sydney to Hobart, there's not many more sporting accomplishments to tick off that can improve on that, so congratulations.
Well, it was all about him. I grew up watching him. Every Christmas we'd go down to the Royal Hobart and look at before they had the yacht tracker. So it was just, imagine having a favourite football team that you followed for years and years, and finally they invite you down to watch a match, and then they ask you onto the field and then they win the match. That's what it was like. Awesome.
What a great shot. That was, that looks like Lockie White has just crossed the finish line, winning race 1, day 3. Well done, Lockie. Even though he fell off.
So that was a short course. Are they just doing one?
It looks like they're actually going to have to tack upwind. Their course is a box course today, so they've got a reaching start, downwind, across the wind, and then an upwind to the finish.
Right. Here we go.
Fantastic. Look at that swell in the background breaking off Point Cartwright.
I reckon there'd be a few races today a little bit jealous of the waves.
Yeah, they enjoy their wave riding too, especially Lincoln and Matt. I know those guys, Rowan. I know those guys are into their wave riding. And racing is a secondary pleasure for them. There goes Lincoln in the black and white wing. He is actually a stand-up paddleboarding world champion.
Wow.
He's a local fella, and he's also in the R&D team for SIC, the Sandwich Island Composites from Hawaii. Make fantastic equipment. What a great shot. The wing's having a great time out there. I think we've still got some kites getting launched off the beach by the look of it. So the Kite Foil class, this is the Olympic class, running the Olympic course, is quite impressive. I'm going to see if we can show you the actual course here. So sorry about the graphics, it's just off my computer, but I'm going to show you the Olympic course. Just follow my cursor here. Start boat, upwind, they'll probably start on a starboard tack, reach out to here, again upwind to the ley line over here, around the top mark to port, downwind through the gates, they can go then left or right, back, zigzagging upwind, doing their tacks, back downwind, they've got to incorporate the gate to go out to this wide mark and to the finish. So that is the Olympic course as it's set at the moment, and these guys are out there practicing that at the moment, getting ready for a start.
And that finishing leg is great because it really shows you who is, it can be a bit difficult sometimes to see who's in the lead, but that the two reaches leading into the finish gives you a very clear indication of who's in front.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting stuff. I can just see this shoreline packed with people, the whole headland packed with people, and the best in the world racing it out here with camera angles and vision similar to what we're bringing you today.
Wow. So what are we expecting next? Do you think they'll run a kite start?
I think the kites don't look like they're close to a start just yet. I think we'll see the next wing racing get underway before the next kite race. But yeah.
Awesome.
Looks like the wings are finished, and so they'll be prepping for the next start. They don't want to waste any time. We'll see if we can take you down to the start boats. Oh, there is a flag up on that start boat. It might just be the orange flag to indicate that the course is set and stay nearby for an imminent start, but we'll see.
We'll keep a good eye out.
Or a good Canon camera out.
Yeah, but Lachlan, he's just been so dominant in the racing yesterday and also today. And for him to be able to make the mistake that he did, just nearing that top mark and still come out with the win, just fantastic.
Oh, look at that wing shot. They're definitely having a rest. Stand-up paddleboarder catching a wave in the background.
And I guess it's important,
rider.
Why are they having a rest? They're having a rest because their arms would be feeling the burn, even after one race. And it mightn't feel like it's very long, but just to be able to keep that, the wing up, to be pumping it, to generate more apparent wind if you need it, it really does take it out of your arms. So they'll be very glad to, just have that little bit of a break.
Yeah, those waves in the background look fantastic, don't they? Look,
the surfers coming through.
Yeah. That's Point Cartwright, Mooloolaba. might introduce you to Jordan Spencer now. He's a renowned commentator for sailing sports. It'll be interesting to get his take on this relatively new division of wing foiling and kite foil racing. Jordan.
Hello and welcome.
G'day. How's life?
Oh, so good. Could you imagine a better sport?
No, that's why we all live here.
That's so true. The secret's out.
The secret is out. No, it is a glamour spot, but don't tell anyone. We're actually 400 kilometres over near New Zealand. We're not at Mooloolaba. We don't want anyone coming here.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
My lips are sealed. My lips are sealed. So talk to me, your background in sailing. What are your first impressions seeing the foiling divisions here today?
Okay, so just for those who don't, I've sort of been a competitive sailor all my life, had quite a bit of luck, and I did the commentary for the World Sailing Games. I got asked to do the commentary for the Olympics. I've just come back from doing Sail GP.
Wow.
I'm able to sort of hang out a bit in the sailing world, so I expected to be in the sun. I'll get rid of my hat. Right. I was expecting... So with this, I also have a podcast, Bar Karate, the sailing podcast. It's the biggest sailing podcast in the world. And we talk a lot about foiling and the Olympics and world sailing and what they've done. And one of the things is that we think that they missed the boat a little bit by not spotting kiteboarding. It's the coming event. To me, it's huge. I think it's going to be huge. It's going to be windsurfing again, I think the kiteboarding's bringing everyone back to the water.
Bringing the cool back to sailing.
Well, the fun, I was talking to Robbie Nash, and he was I was saying, I'm getting old, I can't do this anymore, and he's
not Robbie, he's a legend.
No, I was saying that to Robbie.
I can't imagine Robbie saying that.
No, he doesn't stop. And he said the wing foiling's the go because it's so easy on your body. He said you want to get into the wing foiling, and he's been so true. It's spot on. So I see this as the coming sport. There's a lot of technology development which will be fun. Obviously with the kite foiling, that is right on the extreme edge of the kiting and the boarding, the foiling elements. A lot of research going into the foiling elements. I saw Danielle Moroz, who's the...
Oh, she's amazing. Yes, how many times? Maybe 4 times world champion now?
Yeah, I had breakfast with her the other day in San Fran. That's just dropping names for you.
Yeah, because she was involved in the GP, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's with Team USA. She's a great lass too. So
yeah. And she has so many training videos. If you're a young rider, get onto YouTube, get onto her channel, and in fact, she's definitely taught me how to tack and jibe, and I'm sure she's taught many people. She's a really great ambassador for not just sailing but for kite racing, and she comes across as a lovely individual.
Geez, it's almost perfect out there, isn't it? This is one of the things that Mooloolaba delivers. Okay, we are in Mooloolaba. That Point Cartwright that you can see, that line up in the background, Point Cartwright, you can see surfers taking off at at Cardi's. And then just on the outside of them, you'll see surf skis and club paddle boards going off, and they can leak right through to the beach. It's a good 400 or 500 metre run, and now it is the perfect location for foiling to join in because it's such a nice rolling wave. So the kite boards will be just in seventh heaven out there, and it's difficult wind direction, obviously, with this.
Yep. 8 P's down. Okay, so we're going in for a start we've got action happening with the wing division. You can see. We should be inside the 1 minute in preparation for the start. You can see them all starting to line up.
I think it's actually kites.
Oh no, kites. Okay, we get some kite action. All right. Excellent. So we're just in the process of setting up the drone for the kites. Hopefully we can get some really good vision.
Well, let's just talk about the conditions that we've got out here. So obviously it's a gradient breeze, which means it's from the weather system overhead.
Yep.
One of the natures of a gradient breeze is that it doesn't mix very, very much, so you get a lot of shifts and a lot of pressure changes.
That's exactly what we can see in front of us. Being on the headland, we can see, there's just so many gusty patches, dark patches coming through. Slightly different angles. It will be quite interesting for the competitors to pick their way through the course today.
Yeah. So what you'll be looking upwind, looking for pressure lines, looking for where it's going to come from and trying to stay in that pressure, and that'll be critical. Looks like we've got the start on screen now. They're starting to build up.
Awesome.
Super high-tech kites out there nowadays, from the old original kites, a lot higher aspect, very high speed. So the foil's all about low drag. They work on what mast height they want, how high they want to foil. The higher you foil, the faster you go, but the quicker you crash.
And one crash can ruin your race.
Yeah, yeah. So it is very, very interesting. And then also, the thing with the kites is the kite lines.
Yes, I was just saying before, I've been involved in several tangles, and it's probably one of the most, sort of exhilarating parts. It's not as dangerous as you might think. Once you've been doing it for a while, you learn very quickly how to sort yourself out. But, it is, particularly if one or two of the kites power up, it can be quite exhilarating. And obviously, we were just talking about some of the changes to the sailing rules, and one of them is before the start, when you make your run into that start line. You want to be. I can't really see very much that's going on the screen. So
yeah, that's right. We'll make it up as it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on.
Yeah, but that run into the start, that last maybe 10 seconds is one of the most exhilarating parts of the race for me, because if you want to be right at the right spot on the line at the right time. If you're over, that's your race gone.
Yep.
But at the you can't slow down, you can't lift or lower your kite. You have to have that bang on. You train and train and train, but in the real, and this is why racing like this is so critical for our younger competitors, because you're always thinking, that person's further ahead. Should I be further ahead? Have I misjudged my run? Am I in the wrong spot? All those voices, they come at you at the start. So for these guys to be getting that experience, it's fantastic.
It's critical. So it looks like on screen we've gone back. The second wing foil start has gone. They've done the first reach, they've gone the first run, and now they're just coming across by the looks of it, or near to the bottom to head down for that second reach and then back upwind. It looks like they're pumping a lot. One of the things, I think, from a strategy perspective, if you talk coaching with this sort of racing, the critical thing is to stay on the foil. There's such a huge difference in your speed when you're off the foil versus on the foil. Here we go. Our leader's now coming back upwind for the last beat.
Yep, and surprise, surprise, it looks like we've got Lachlan out in front. He's been so dominant this series.
Yeah. Fantastic. And you can see the technique. It's just that if you haven't kiteboarded yet, the technique's not from trying to sheet your wing harder. The technique comes from driving your foil further and further upwind. That's where you're gaining. You want to get that wing sort of just generating lift, and you're using your foil to generate your height as well. So you can't just sort of squeeze it in a bit tighter and expect you got to keep it moving. You see the boys and girls, they're pumping on the foil. Little wave there just to try and wide that wave. So create apparent wind, create a bit of speed. So of the other thing from being in San Fran, this is massive, right? And
yes.
At St Francis Yacht Club there, it's just on.
Well, I remember when kite racing became massive in San Fran years and years ago, and it feels like the vibe around this winging is very similar to that feel many years ago.
Yep, exactly.
And look
that.
where kiting's now in the Olympics.